What I'm doing here is I'm giving you guys a little bit more in-depth tutorials on some of the processes that we use here at the shop. If you have been noticing the order of the videos, you will notice that we revealed the car already, the STI that you just seen me wrap, and then we're cutting back to some more detailed clips. So the plan is to start going back and honing in on certain parts that I think are gonna help be valuable for some of you guys. One of the biggest things, one of my biggest initiatives for 2021 is to release my vinyl wrap courses. Everybody's been asking about it for years. Literally the last 4 years, I've had so many people say, hey, Daniel, do you do training? Do you guys offer training at the shop? Yes, yes, and yes is what's gonna happen. We're gonna do some online video course training. We're also gonna do in-shop where my guys will go to your shop. So if you want that, we'll come to your shop and we'll teach you guys the processes. With that said, what I want you guys to do if you're interested in the wrap training is text, what do we wanna text? To that number. Well, let's text
Wrap School.
Wrap School. Text Wrap School to that text messaging. What I'll do is I'll filter all those text messages to know that you guys are interested in it. And at some point, I will be texting you direct and letting you know how we're gonna move forward with the training here.
All is over, call it close, but we all know what this is gonna be. You came to fail the test, you met the best, expected chess, but got monopoly. I came and bought you out, I knocked you out, I crouched you out.
Main things that you guys always ask actually is how do you get perfect corners? So I'll show you. I'll show you what we got here. We got a corner here. It's very important to do these things right because if you don't, they can look like garbage. Here's what a perfect corner looks like. Can't see any of that blue, and you'll see all the way through. That's what the idea is here. And in this series, I want to teach you guys how to wrap corners. If you guys have any questions, comment below. I'm sure you'll find value in these videos because I'm going to give you the juice. I'm going to give you the details, the stuff that you're probably not hearing on YouTube. The stuff that you guys need to know. If you're gonna be DIY wrapping your car at home, you wanna know these things because, you know, when it comes to wrapping, it's not only about your skill of laying material, it's your knowledge of knowing how the material works, how it reacts. So that's a big thing. If you're unaware of what the capabilities of the film are, you're not gonna be able to do things like this. So this particular fender is pretty small. It's only about 24 inches tall. By 44 in length, so from corner to about here is actually it's like 42, so I grabbed 44 in length of material. And so what I'm going to do here is when I lay this panel, what I'm going to do is I'm going to focus on this aggressive body line here. I don't know if you can see that, but there is a small, I'd say a mild body line right here. You want to focus on that first, so assuming heat and lay the material here, and then I'll work up in this area, and then we'll go over to the corner where I'm really going to demonstrate how to get a nice corner here. I'm working solo. I'm gonna pin the corner here. Also pin a corner right down here. Pull this transfer tape through. And from there we can kind of just figure out where we need to be. I'm gonna come over a tad bit. There it is. All right. So when it comes to laying this film again, I'm gonna give some heat and work right along the body line. What I do when I'm heating my film, for me it's just out of habit now, is I'll always start from my hand and I'll move into the films. Now I'm going to shift this material from left to right. I'm going to go towards my left, right on that body line. I pulled almost right to that corner. So you guys see it's starting to take form now. And I'm going to go and pull down here. A little bit there I need to work with. Again, I'm going to start from my hands. And work that way towards the film. So right now, what you guys are seeing me do, we call this glassing. We're glassing the film, we're getting it to lay out, basically setting up the panel before we even touch it, before we start to lay any material. And you're gonna see it almost looks like it's already done without even laying a squeegee on the panel at all. And as I work, I'm pulling to the corners. And there's an explanation for that, and we'll get into it as we go. But again, it goes back to the technique of shrinking to the corners. So you're going to want to give a little overstretch here, but you're going to want to shrink that back as you work your way through the panel. Again, from my hands, so there's nothing up here. This is the body line here. So I'm starting my heat up here, and I'm working my way down. Kind of a tough spot up here because you got the hood, but not a big deal. We're going to heat from my hands. And then I'm going to spread the film a tad bit and pull to that corner. So at this point, I haven't laid the material at all. All I've done is glass the film. I pulled right to my corners here. See that? So you can see that the film still has air all the way through. I haven't touched any of it. But again, I'm really trying to demonstrate what's going on here. I pull to that corner, and then I pull to that corner. Again, up here and up there. It's very important to do that. Get all your corners set up before you get going. I do have a little bit of, let's see what the heat does right here. Yeah, that should be fine. That's workable. So during this process, you're really learning how to read the material. Learning that comes with time. So the more you do this, the more you'll start to understand the film and read the film, what it needs, what it doesn't need, where it's overstretched, where it doesn't have enough stretch. All right, before I get to laying, you guys ask in the comments all the time, what do I use to wrap? I'm using the Premium Auto Styling wrap glove here. As you're wrapping, as you're putting your hand on the floor, it gets dirty and just looks like garbage. So having this glove be black helps a lot, as well as it's just a nice smooth gliding glove, which is most important. And then also squeegee, Premium Auto Styling squeegee, best squeegee in the game in my opinion. We went through so many different variations to get where we're at with this one. I just love it. So that's what I'm going to use throughout the process here. Throw this glove on and let's get going. I didn't work this back corner here, so I'm going to go ahead and pull the film down towards this corner here from my hands up. Spread the film a little bit right here at the corners, the two corners here, one there, and one here. At this point, the panel's ready to go. Besides this little guy here, so let's watch what happens here. Again, it's about reading the film, understanding that that crease is spreading left to right. So I think it's going to be okay. We're going to go ahead and work that first. Done. Just going to work the body line. Let's go ahead and take care of this corner here. You see that the film has been stretched into place already. It's been brought all the way over and then it's brought to this corner. So there is stretch in the film here. When you heat this, it's going to want to move back. So if I give heat right now, it's going to start to suck into place. But before I do that, you want to go ahead and give a relief cut. Right in this area is where the headlight goes. The film only needs to tuck in about, say about 1/8 of an inch needs to go in. So you have some room to cut here. Go ahead and give a relief. At this point, the film is ready to be shrunk in. So let's watch the film react. Let's see it go into place. And at that point, you know that it's shrunk back. There's no tension. It's not going to move anymore after you've done this. It just moved into place right at that corner for me. It's kind of just sitting right at home where it needs to go. And about from here to here is the most important spot. So I'm going to go ahead and take care of the side, which you guys can't see, but it's reacting in the same way. I'm just bringing it around. At this point, you don't want to heat and pull anymore. You want to let that fall home. When I say home, that's where it's going to sit. That's where it's going to be. It's not going to move anywhere after. Again, I'm going to heat it, make sure it's staying in place. Let it shrink. And there you got it. So you got a really nice corner that has the durability. It's not going to change over time. This is where it's going to stay. Cut it out for you guys. Sometimes this can be a concern. You know, the material's almost like a drum. See that? There's a lot of tension on the film there, but it's not a terrible bend. So what you're going to want to do is give a little bit of relief there. Probably give a little bit more here too, just so I can send this material back that way. I'm going to give it some heat, and then you'll see I'm going to put my thumb up top, and I'm going to shift it back into where it needs to go. So it only needs to go to right here. Home there. Again, I'm taking care of all my corners first. So when I say corner, 1, 2, 3, the most important spots. All this right here is very easy to work from here to here and here to here. But again, it's taking care of this spot, and that spot. So let's go ahead and heat this and shrink it into place. See the material react, and it's just fell into place. So all of this is good here. You can see the film has no tension on it. It's good to go. You can almost flush cut this material, meaning you can just go right up next to the panel, not on the panel, but just next to it, and feel confident that this material is not going anywhere. You know, that's the big thing with wraps, is how do you get it to look good and also stay in place. I'm gonna give it heat, make sure we're good here. Check it out, guys. You're gonna see that the material's not gonna move anymore. I'm gonna give it heat. And we're good. See how the film's still moving right here? You can actually read this film right here. You have a little bit of tension. Right here, you don't. No tension. So the idea is you want to relieve that before you actually trim and cut. So working with the camera and the heat gun at the same time. Bear with me. I'm gonna give it some heat. Let that shrink. And just relieve that tension. So you want to do that before you make any of your final cuts. Reading the film there, you can see that she's ready to go, ready to cut, and you won't have any problems. The idea here is that I've wrapped already beyond the bend, but I'm going to give it a little bit extra material also, so when I heat that, it just shrinks up and it just fully wraps the spot. Not cutting on the car, I'm just cutting into the gap off of the fender. So I left a little bit of extra material. You can't really see it, but there's just barely enough film there. I'm gonna leave my corner because I still gotta work this one down here. But to show you guys, I'm gonna heat this and let this just shrink into place. When I get to this corner here, I'm gonna lift the material up just to the bend, heat it, let it fall into place, and it basically just wraps that corner for me. I don't know if you guys can see that there. It's already been done here, but we just give it some heat, let it shrink up into place. It just fell exactly where I want it to go. And then along this line here, same deal. Gonna lift the material off, heat it, and bring it back into place. I'm telling you guys, it just literally wraps itself. Pouring the material here. When you're making these cuts, you're just scoring the material, barely going through it, almost to where pull it away from itself. So in this area, super good idea to make sure there's no tension. And you can see right here in the film from here to about all the way over here, there's no tension at all. See how the film really doesn't move, but right there, you can see that there's tension. I'm gonna cut a relief cut right here. I'm gonna allow the material to go where it wants to go. I want it to go under and around. It's very, very important to make sure you clean out these wheel wells very thoroughly because this is where your vinyl is going to be home. We're going to call it home. Wherever it's going to rest, that's home. You want that edge to be 100% clean. There it is. Give it a post heat. And right now, as you're post heating it, you're making sure that the material's not moving at all. So if this material had any tension on it, if it wasn't installed or laid, you would see that. So once you're done wrapping any panel, you need to go over it with heat and just make sure, and you're watching it with your eyes. You're watching everything to make sure that everything's staying exactly where it needs to be. If there was material or if there was air left here, that's no big deal. This has air release, but when you heat the panel, you would see it. You would see that air pop up because it's now heated, and then you would address that. Alright guys, so as we approach the side here, this is the side of the fender, this is the door, driver door, this is your gap in between the two panels. You see here that when I brought the material over, I told you guys I was pulling left to right, so I brought material this way, so I do have a little stretch right here on the edge. That's intentional. You want to utilize that to your advantage. When I make this cut here, you're going to know that this film has a little bit of stretch on it, so you need to give yourself extra film so it moves back this way. And we utilize that to our advantage. It helps us wrap these corners with a nicer, cleaner finish. This is more of an advanced wrap technique, you know, so I am teaching you guys things here that I haven't showed on the channel before. So let's go ahead and pull this. And then when it comes to this corner here, I'm gonna give it a round turn. I'm gonna go to my corner and I'm gonna turn it down. And I'll start there. So Again, this material, when I heat it, is gonna move back that way. So it's important to do your proper cut, give yourself extra material. Another thing you can do is open the door here. Because as I heat this, I'm gonna wanna round it back to the back side of the fender so it gives full coverage. So let's go ahead and heat. See how the material's moving? I'm gonna go ahead and lay that corner first and then work my way up. Another thing I like to do for me is I work this corner here and then I see that there's a line where the body meets. I'm gonna take care of that corner as well. A little bit of heat, put that in place. Now I can heat the whole thing and just evenly work the material to the back of the panel. Again, that's so it has full coverage and you know that the material's not gonna move anywhere. As long as that's clean back there, which I did take care of, that material will stay there forever. See that the material's still in this area? This is what tension looks like right here at this corner, but it's already way off. This is the edge of the fender here, so the tension has been shifted away. This is all nice, good material ready to be laid all the way through. I got all this up here that I need to take care of, but here's what it looks like when it's done. Here's the finished product. Nice tension-free lay. It sits all the way in. No blue showing up to that green panel right here where Throttle has added that extra little cool garnish piece from Perrin. I like that, looks really good. Same process, guys. You're gonna lift off the material and you're gonna wanna allow this corner to really shrink into place because there is tension there. So let that die down. You see how the material just moved right exactly where it wants to go. And here's the end of the corner here. So we're basically done with that. Feed all this material right here. No stretch, all of this into place. Cut some of this excess off. So with this, you can see the material's coming to a point right here. I'm gonna take care of that middle spot first. Lift off the material, no stretching. I'm not pulling at all, guys. Just heating it. Go ahead and feed that down. So I'm just gonna lower my finger and let the material fall into place. The idea is to have a tensionless lay where we're taking it home. So where its final resting spot is, you want to make sure that there's no tension on it at all. Just laying really, really nicely. It's nice and comfortable. Okay, so I stopped right here. So all this is addressed, but that's because I want to move up to here, to this corner. Like I said earlier, it's like a little drum, you know what I mean? There's a lot of tension here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to map it out. I'm going to cut some relief cuts, but I'm going to feed the material right to this corner here, this little area here. So let's go ahead and cut reliefs there. Cut one this way. And then let's heat that and lay that first. Just guiding the material down. I'm not stretching it, I'm just guiding it. Locked in really nicely. Okay, so at this point I can cut. What I'm going to do is I'm not cutting on the fender at all. There's a gap between the fender and this panel here. So I'm going to run my blade right here on the side of this thing. This little finishing plate. So I'm going to run right against that. That's giving me a little excess material to tuck down below. I'm going to stop right here. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is, just for additional safety here, I'm going to give it some heat. That material's going to shrink a tad bit, and then I'm just going to feed it down. It's really important in this engine base to do everything really, really nicely, because when that hood opens up, you don't want to have a jagged line, but also you want to make sure that the heat from the engine is not going to cause any of this material to pop up. So that's why I gave a nice little post heat, or a little bit of heat before I laid that material down. All right, last and final step. So everything's been done, everything's been laid, this corner's been taken care of. What we have is material here and right up here. The most important part of what's left is gonna be right here. So there's actually a finishing plate that covers this area here. You still wanna get nice coverage and lay with no tension in this area, so we will address that, but this is what I'm gonna focus on. So you see that the material's kind of bridging over to the quarter panel here. I'm gonna lift that material off. Something I told you guys at the beginning of the vlog was how we remove a lot of the panels. This fender's in place, but it's actually unbolted. You see this here? There was a bolt here and a bolt there. And what that's allowing me to do is pick this up off the car just enough. So what I can do is I can chuck this. What I'm going to use is a squeegee. So what I'm going to use is these squeegees to chuck this off the car. just to hold it in out, and basically it's opened up this whole area here for me. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna round my corners, lay them in place, just guide the material down, but I know that there's tension and stretch here, so I'm gonna want to stretch this back down towards the back of the panel. So once I heat this, it should start falling into place. See how it just moved for me? So it's reading the material, knowing that it's gonna move, taking care of this before you do any trimming. That's the biggest thing, is a lot of people will overstretch the film, and then they'll trim, and then they'll heat it, and then it'll move out of place, and then you'll get your old existing color showing, and ultimately a bad wrap. So pull these squeegees out, let that rest into place. Again, I told you guys there's a finishing plate that goes right here all the way up. End of the vlog, you guys seen in detail how I wrapped that fender, and what I'm doing here is I'm giving you guys a little bit more in-depth tutorials on some of the processes that we use here at the shop. If you have been noticing the order of the videos, you will notice that we revealed the car already, the STI that you just seen me wrap, and then we're cutting back to some more detailed clips. So the plan is to start going back and honing in on certain parts that I think are gonna help be valuable for some of you guys who either are wrapping right now or are currently looking to get into the wrap business. So you can kind of just see a little bit more about what I do. There's multiple ways to wrap a fender. There's multiple ways how to wrap everything on a car. This is just my processes, my procedures. With that said, one of the biggest things, one of my biggest initiatives for 2021 is to release my vinyl wrap courses. Everybody's been asking about it for years. Literally the last 4 years, I've had so many people say, hey, Daniel, do you do training? Do you guys offer training at the shop? Yes, yes, and yes is what's gonna happen. We're gonna do some online video course training. We're also gonna do in-shop, where my guys will go to your shop. So if you want that, we'll come to your shop and we'll teach you guys the processes. One of the things that I think is gonna be more unique about what we have to offer is I'm gonna bring my wrap installers out, including myself, to train your guys' shop, your shop if you own a shop. We'll work with your guys' install crew, but I also wanna help on the business and the marketing side. Some of the things I've been successful here with at Premium, I wanna implement that into our courses. I wanna help shops get off the ground and miss some of the obstacles that I had to deal with, some of the things that a lot of these shops are dealing with, how to market, how to network, how to properly roll out and present your business. Not only being a great wrapper, but you have to also have all of those other elements to your company to make it successful. You know, I built a wrap shop from the ground up. You know, we've been from making no money to making over $1 million. So not many wrap shops say that. And I'm just gonna say it on the channel because I wanna be very transparent with my goals. You know, my goals coming forward is 5 million, you know, so we have big aspirations here. I plan on accomplishing those on the channel, but you know, just to be straight up, you know, not in a cocky way at all. This is something that we've accomplished from the ground up, and you know, I'm just a regular dude, no college education. A lot of our wrap installers are the same exact dudes. You know, we're the creative guys that maybe just took a different path, and we became successful in our shops and in a different way. You know, we didn't go to, some of us went to college, but some of us didn't. We didn't become doctors, we didn't become construction workers, we became rappers. And we've been fortunate enough to make careers. I know I have, I'm really excited about it. And I would love to see others be able to feel that same exact success that I am, and even more. So if I can help shed some light on how to get there, at least how I did, I wanna do that. So my wrap training is gonna be a little bit different. With that said, what I want you guys to do, if you're interested in the wrap training, is text, what do we wanna text to that number? Well, let's text
Wrap School.
Wrap School. Text Wrap School to that text messaging. What I'll do is I'll filter all of those text messages to know that you guys are interested in it. And at some point, I will be texting you direct and letting you know how we're gonna move forward with the training here. The training that I'm gonna bring to the table is not gonna just be me teaching my ways, because what I've learned over the last 6 months to a year, especially as I stepped out of the wrap room, is that my guys here, my installers here, there's techniques that I wasn't doing that I love and I'm so excited about. So I want them to be able to teach what they do, as well as the knowledge that I know, and ultimately help you become a well-rounded wrap installer business owner. If you are enjoying the more detailed wrap school training like videos, I will keep producing them. That's the plan here, really go in depth, help out, give as much value as possible. So let me know if you guys enjoyed it, comment below. We'll see you guys in the next vlog. The next couple vlogs you're gonna see are my Supra. My Supra's right here. It's almost done being wrapped and it looks amazing. I'm so excited. So if you guys are excited about that, make sure you guys hit the like, the subscribe button because those videos are coming. And I can't wait to show you what we're doing to it. It looks dope! See you guys.
Touch the ball, it's over, call it close, but we all know what this is gonna be. You came and failed the test, you met the best, expected chess, but got monopoly. I came and bought you out, I knocked you out.